What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
El Camino, the Breaking Bad movie, came out, and I've been binging through, rewatching Breaking Bad from episode 1. Just finished it in lead up to the movie, and it's a good movie. It's good. I don't know how good it would be for somebody that isn't familiar with Breaking Bad. I think there's a lot of references. You get to see cameos from all of your favorite characters in the movie. There's flashbacks. You get to see Robert Foster, potentially his last, R.I.P. Robert Foster, his last performance. He has a pretty decent big part of this movie. But I don't know how much, because I followed Breaking Bad. It feels like there's a lot of references in this movie. If it felt while watching it, even though I enjoyed it and I got all of the references, it really felt like more of a DC movie where if you're not familiar with all of the backstory and like if you didn't do your homework on DC characters, then a lot of the DC movies, not Joker, but most of the DC movies that have come out over the past few years are pretty horrible movies unless you have done all your homework and get the references. Basically, movies of references. And if you don't get the references, then the movies pretty much fall flat. Now, this one, I think you could still follow it. I think you understand what's going on. It follows Jesse Pinkman, basically after the moment after the final episode of Breaking Bad. It kind of gives you some clarity to how that whole thing ends. But it also cuts back to a lot of flashbacks, so that's where a lot of the cameos come in clearly. But it also shows a little bit more of Jesse Pinkman's time as a slave for the Nazis, making meth for the Nazis as he was doing towards the end of Breaking Bad. But just one of the best characters. Clearly, while watching it, you can tell it's been a few years since they did the movie. Aaron Paul, who plays Jesse Pinkman, you would have been better if he lost some weight. Because he's older, people get older, they fill out a little bit more. He's a little bit more filled out, even though he's playing a character that's in prison. Basically, he should be wasting away. Like, he should have lost at least 10 pounds, maybe 20. He should have, this is a movie. It's not a TV show, it's a movie. You see a lot of actors going the extra mile for their character. And if their character requires them to look emaciated, then a lot of them do that. I mean, you saw in Breaking Bad, you got to see the main character go through a physical transformation. You get to see in Joker, you saw that they lost some weight. It just fits better. It fits better, and this one, it just didn't fit. It didn't fit. I didn't buy it. Some of the acting is a little bit over the top. I don't know if it's because these characters haven't played these characters in a long time. It's their last time playing these characters. Everybody seemed to be performing in a little bit more heightened way than the show. But overall, I enjoyed the movie. It wasn't a transcendent movie as far as movies based on TV shows. It's probably one of the best, I guess, but as a standalone movie, it's not the greatest. It's not the greatest movie. But if you are one of the millions of people that have watched Breaking Bad over the years, then it's a great end to the story. You get to see kind of where the show, it ends with Pinkman escaping in an El Camino and just screaming because he's finally free from everything. but this kind of gives it a little bit more clarity where he's trying to uh, basically trying to escape and doing the same things, where Robert Foster's character in the Breaking Bad show is this guy who's able to hide people who have a little bit of heat on him. And he's very expensive, but if you need to disappear, he can help you disappear. If you want to start a new life, he can help you. He's kind of like the underground version of a protective custody, or the thing where they change your identity. The government does, but this is more of an underground thing for criminals, which was awesome to see Robert Foster. I mean, the news of his death literally came out the day I think I watched it. I think actually I watched it yesterday. I watched it Saturday, but I think the news may have came out Saturday, so maybe the day after the movie was released. But a great actor. I mean, not only from Breaking Bad, which he was part of a little bit in the show, definitely has a bigger part in the movie, but also Jackie Brown, just a great actor. So rest in peace. But it was awesome to see that he was in this movie and had a big part in this movie, and just great. Just everybody looked super old, like Jesse Pinkman looked older than normal. But you get to see all his friends. You get to see all the people that have died through the show, that didn't really get farewells. It was a nice, touching movie overall. I mean, still didn't really have the there were some kind of parts in this movie that I just didn't. It felt like just everything was a little bit heightened, and it was taken out of the normal kind of tone of Breaking Bad. And just like there's a shootout scene that was fun, but it's like the scene itself was like, why would he be going? Like, it just didn't make sense. Like the things versus the show was so good about making everything pretty believable and plausible. Where this one, because everything's clicked up a little bit more on the heightened reality aspect, that I think it went a little bit too cartoonish in moments. But overall, it's good. It's just that thing about being a standalone movie. I think it's more settles more. Even though I liked it, if I just watched this movie without ever watching any of the Breaking Bad stuff, I would probably be kind of lost. It wouldn't hit as hard because you don't know everything that led to that moment. I mean, the last season of Breaking Bad was just like, I mean, it's one of the best shows, not only from all the seasons leading up, but the way they close out the show is probably one of the best ways to close out the show, which next week I'm going to talk about Breaking Bad, the series, since I did just finish it. But I wanted to discuss El Camino first. And, it was interesting to see kind of more of his relationship or what he was going through while he was cooking for the Trump supporters, the Nazis, basically the white supremacist group that kind of, was a big part of the final season. I mean, they were a big part of the last few seasons, I think, last couple seasons of Breaking Bad, where they kind of when Frang dies, they move on to when they're starting to cook inside houses that are supposedly being fumigated. So it was a nice kind of closeout to all that stuff. I enjoyed it. Not the greatest. It's really good. Really, like better than. I don't even know if I ever watched the Entourage movie. If I did, that's how forgettable it is. But out of all the movies that came from TV shows, this has to be one of the best. It's rated really well, which is nice to see, but just overall, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I'm happy with it, but wasn't blown away in any way. But it was a good end, a good finishing piece for the series. Yeah. So anyway, that's it for my review of El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe everywhere podcasts are found, including IGTV and YouTube. Go buy my artwork over at inspireddisorder.com and save 25% when you use coupon code RTS. Follow me on social media at Ray Taylor. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!